Hello people of YouTube, my name is Tom, aka Engine Rambles, bringing you another motovlog. So I actually tried to film this episode on Saturday, and I thought, I know, I'll edit it and upload it all on a Monday night. So I did that, except when I came around to edit it, I had no audio. The GoPro just didn't record any audio. Don't know why that is. If anyone knows what that is, can they, let me know. I did have my mic plugged in, so all those fucking comments they're going to say, did you plug it in? Yes, I fucking plugged it in. Okay. Right, okay, cool. Right, so today, guys, I want to talk about politics, because it is a shit storm out there in the world of politics. I'm going to say right off the bat, I know very little about politics. I know enough to get me by, and like I do my own research and stuff like that, but generally speaking, I don't really know that much about politics. But basically, we had the Brexit vote. I'm not going to go into that too much, because that was like over a year ago now, or about a year ago now, whenever it was. Then last year, Americans were like, oh, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, this is the worst presidential election race ever, we don't know who to vote for. We don't know who to vote for, this is the worst one ever, blah, 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 blah. And then Britain was like, motherfucker, hold my beer. So it boiled down to having Jeremy Corbyn and his band of borrowing buggers and Theresa May and her gang of tax avoiding criminals. So the way politics works in the UK is that the House of Commons is divided up into like nearly 700 seats. I think nearly 700 seats, and each seat represents a constituency, and each constituency is basically an area. So right now my area is Tendring. I live in Clacton, but Tendring covers Clacton, Holland, which is just up the road ahead of me. It carries Frinton and Walton and a few other little towns. I think Bentley might be in on Tendring, I'm not entirely sure. So the way it is you vote for who you want your local government to be, and then whoever gets the most local governments wins the power overall, essentially. But you have to have a certain number of seats. This is going back. You have to have a certain number of constituencies to win a majority. Regardless of whether you've got the most votes, you have to win the certain amount of seats. Now, if you have a party like what's happened now, where the Tories won the most amount of seats by quite a margin, but they still didn't have that golden number, which I think was 365 or something along those lines, around 360. Because they didn't reach that total number, it meant that they didn't have a majority vote, even though they had the most amount of votes. And that's when you get what they call a hung parliament. Now, a hung parliament basically means that the parties, the big two parties, i.e. Labour and Tories, need to scrabble around and try and make a deal with the other parties to go into a coalition government. And a coalition government is where the bigger party is officially the party in charge, and then they combine the seats of another party with them, and effectively both parties are in power, one more so than the other. It happened not so long ago with David Cameron for the Tories and Nick Clegg for the Liberal Democrats. The Tories didn't win a majority, therefore they teamed up with the Liberal Democrats and you combined their seats together so they could have an overall majority. And the same thing is going to happen this time. Except, then this is my problem, except it's not Lib Dems, which I actually quite like. They're a little bit soft, but I haven't really got anything against Liberal Democrats. Other than that, I think they're a bit of pushovers, but I don't know. So the party that the Tories are talking about going into talks with is called the DUP. Now the DUP are based in Northern Ireland, and I've seen a lot of hate for them lately, like quite a bit of hate, but no one really knows, or no one in this country at least, in England, really knows who the DUP are. No one, I have never even heard of them before this general election, before the result came through. So I thought I'd do a little bit of research, and I did my own research. I didn't just go on social media and, you know, look what people were saying on there. I did my own research. I went through Google, I went through even their manifesto, I went through lots of other bits and pieces just to see what they were all about. And what they're all about is being fucking dickheads. They are essentially the UK Independence Party, UKIP, but Irish. There's nothing wrong with being Irish. I realised how that sounded, like I'm slagging off the Irish. I'm not, at any means. I'm slagging off UKIP. These people, these crazy fucking right-wing extremist lunatics, maybe extremist is a bit hard, but they are definitely far right-wing, think that you shouldn't have same-sex marriage, no gay rights, get rid of the abortion law, ban all religions. That's actually in their manifesto, if you looked at it far enough, that the only religion that should be practiced, I think is Catholic, is the Catholic religion. It's the only religion that should be practiced, according to them. And I can't remember if I read that in their manifesto or I read that somewhere else, but that was basically what came up. They're anti-immigrant, they're anti-EU, and that's fine. I mean, we voted to leave Brexit, so I'm guessing, you know, to leave Europe, sorry. I'm guessing a lot of people are anti-Europe. I'm not. I voted to remain part of Europe. But these guys are basically anything that's anti-white or British, and that doesn't stick with the Catholic faith. These guys are fucking lunatics. They are right-wing fucking nutjobs. And the problem is, the Tories are a little bit right. Theresa May is a little bit right and has already threatened to go further right. And it genuinely scares me. It seems like that since Brexit, there's been this massive surge, and I'm not saying that all right-wingers are racists and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, white supremacists and Nazis and all that kind of thing. I'm not saying that, but it does seem to go in correlation with the amount of you know, the amount of right-wings that are in power and the amount of fucking degenerative fucking morons there are that think it's okay to slag people off based on their religion or colour or fucking sexual orientation or what, right? And that fucking terrifies me, because I saw myself firsthand. I mean, I'm a white British guy, but I saw firsthand the amount of racism that became sort of acceptable after the Brexit vote, and it's not fucking acceptable. I work on a building site, so I mean, generally like 95% of the people you meet on building sites are, you know, are good, nice, hard-working, decent people. But then there's like 5% of people on building sites who are just fucking ignorant cunts, and there's no other fucking words, and there's no other fucking way to say that. They're dickheads. And it seems like since the Brexit vote, since Trump got into power, Now the Tories are going into power with the DUP. Every time this kind of massive political upset that happens that goes in favour of the right, it seems like we step back 10 years as a fucking race of people. The DUP's fucking they were right. DUP, they were set up in 1971 or 72 or something along those lines, and their politics were fucking behind the times then. They were out of date 45 years ago when they first started, and now they're even further out of date. I genuinely thought that we were moving forward as a race of people. We were becoming more loving, more understanding, more respectful of each other. And it seems like we're going backwards. And some of you might say, oh yeah, we're getting back to the good old days. What good old fucking days? The good old days where you chase fucking black people around in a field with a fucking fork and torch? That ain't fucking good old days. What the fuck are you on about? And same goes for those people, fucking send them back to their own country. No, fuck you. You fuck off back to another country. Okay, because Britain has always throughout its last 1,000 years, has been a multicultural society. Every fucking one of us is a descendant of a fucking Roman, or a fucking Anglo-Saxon, or a fucking Viking, or whatever. Every fucking one of us is a descendant. There's no pure fucking British bloodline. Even our fucking Queen's German, for fuck's sake. Sort it out. Just because a few fucking right-wingers have got in power does not mean it's fucking socially acceptable. And don't fucking tell that shit to me. I had some guy come up to me earlier, right, and now this isn't related to politics, but this is a guy at work, someone who's actually in a position of power at work, come up to me, and he went, here, that guy, I'm not going to say his name, that guy so-and-so, he went, he can't drive for shit. And I went, alright, why is that? And he went, oh, he's curved all his wheels and all that kind of stuff on his car. I'm like, yeah, so. And he went, I'm not racist, but black people can't drive for shit. What? I'm not racist, but black people can't drive for shit. What the fucking hell are you on about, son? I just walked away. I can't fucking stand that. And you can almost guarantee when someone says to you, I'm not racist, but the next thing that's about to come out of their mouth is something incredibly fucking racist. Anyway, like I said, that's my political rant over. If you guys agree, you know, hit me up down in the comment section if you've got something to say up on the matter. Remember, like and subscribe. And if you guys don't agree, don't even bother fucking comment. Seriously, because I'm going to read probably the first line of your comment. If there's more than a line, if you can actually structure a paragraph in your fucking tiny little ignorant mind. I'm not even going to read it. I'll read the first fucking line and I'll be like, this guy's a cunt, and I'm just going to fucking ignore it. Because in my world, in my Britain, in my England, there is no fucking room for ignorance. Anyway, this has been Dom, aka Engine Rambles. Go fuck yourself, bigots.